This is a 1990 Mercedes-Benz 420 SEL. See, this car was made in Stuttgart 1990. This is 126 body style. See, it says 126 here. They made this body style from 84 to 91. So a lot of parts interchange back and forth. So what we're going to do is just do the shock absorbers on the front and back. I wasn't going to make this video, but that's why I sort of got it started, and I realized that some of the easier jobs are what people will attempt to do themselves. Okay, here's the hood release. Then it pops up, and here you just pull this out and lift it up. Okay, so the front, here's the engine compartment right here. So there's a shock absorber, the top part on the driver's side, and if you look over here, that's the passenger side. Okay, so you see I obviously raised this up already and took off the tire. Okay, so what I did is raise the car high enough so I can put a jack stand underneath the frame over here. That way I can lower the car if I want to, or use the jack to lift the wheel up and down. I also put it over here on the A-frame arm and was able to lift it up. So there's the shock absorber. It's right here. There's two bolts, one here to remove it. So what I'll do is turn the wheel so I can make it easier access for me. See, now you have easy access to one bolt, and then the other bolt we just have to move the shock absorber over. So we have to take the top portion off first. Okay, this is number 14. This has a little tiny, like, I don't know, it's just another nut on here, but it's really not. It's made for, it's like a substitute for a lock, or a substitute for like a second bolt. So it's just a little piece of metal. Now sometimes, oh, this is lucky, sometimes you have to get a pair of vice grips and hold this because as you take this nut off, that shaft will rotate. In this particular case it doesn't, so we're just lucky. But if it doesn't, then you don't need it. Can't believe this is coming off so easy. Something wrong here. Well, that's because it's an easy location. If it was in a hard location, it might not go off it. Okay, here's the nut, the washer, and the rubber washer here. So there it is. Okay, there's the rubber washer. Here's the shaft. So now we'll go down on the bottom. So first of all, we want to get the first bolt, and that happens to be a number 10. Okay, notice this is a 12-sided. All right, now let's get the second one. As you see, there's no way to get access. So remember, we took the bolt off the top. So now we have to just pull this down. So just go easy. And pull it away. That way we will have access to the second bolt. Alright, so now it's out of there. Squeeze it out. See, of course, the shock comes back up again. So the first thing is we have to get this back bolt in there. So we know we have to lift it up. So we're going to squeeze it down a little bit. It's easier if you go slow. There, you have to put it in a spot where you can get at that. Okay, so line up the hole. Start the bolt. Okay, as you can hear, somebody's dog needs attention in the background. Okay, I'll tighten that up. Line that one up. The second one up. And I'll start in position. Okay, now, since that started, what we're going to do, there's our hole. So we have to lower this shock down so the stem goes through that hole. So very slowly. Lower the shock, put the stem through the hole, and let it go. And now that makes room so I can start or screw in the second bolt on the bottom. Okay, tighten the second one. Now we're all done with the bottom. Center the stem a little bit, which doesn't make much difference because put the rubber on. Then I put the washer on. And this stem, shock on the stem is a little different because instead of having an oval slot for a pair of vice grips, it's got a screwdriver. So let's put this on. Put a dab of oil on it, make it go easier. Alright, so we'll just tighten this up. But see how the shaft moves? So, what we have to do, hold the shaft with the screwdriver in the slot and just tighten it up. Oh, there's our buddies the crows. Don't want to miss an opportunity to be in the movie. Okay. Alright, there's as tight as I can get it. So, there you go. Put the nut on there. This one happens to have a screwdriver versus the, when we took it off, had vice grip pliers. So now that's just bolted up on the top, bolted on the bottom. And here's the two bolts on the bottom. Here, shock's in place. We're done. We just put the wheel back on. Alright, bolts. And once again, since I took it off, never know when I'm going to take it off again. I'll put a little oil on each one of them. Just a little bit. I put that up to the top. Alright, so remember, you go in a star pattern all the time. So I got this on there. Let me take the jack down, lower it, and I'll tighten it one more time. Okay, that's one side. Now let's do the other. Okay, before we start, let's loosen these because there's no one around to hold the brake after I jack it up. Okay, so right underneath the arm, and I'll just jack this up high enough so I can put the jack stand and hold it up there. Okay, and the jack stand. Jack stand's in place. Let me lower it down just a touch. So now, let me turn the wheel. Okay, so that'll give us access to these two bolts. Let's do the top one first. Here's the shock on the passenger side. So once again, it's got that little locking nut on the top. That comes right off. So for the most part, these shocks, they're basically the same almost for every car. They're just located in a different spot. But they all come up through the top here because that's holding the body, and then it all hook onto the A-frames on the bottom, and they slow the movement of the car up. They damper it. Here, we'll just take the rubber out. Okay, now it's free to go. So now let's go on the bottom. Again, it's the number 10. See, easy access. Like I say, a lot of these shocks, removing and replacing the shocks are the same. Some of them have the bolts coming up from the bottom and catch onto a nut that's part of the bottom bracket of the shock. But okay, that's one. We have to get the other one, so we have to move the shock this way. So what I have to do is pull down on the shock so I can get it over here. So nice and slowly. Don't have to worry about this one, but it's not in good shape. So it doesn't have much spring power there. Looks like all the oil leaked out of it. And here's the bolt in the back. So that comes loose. The shock just comes right out. Here's the bolt. Take that out. And there it is. It's taking the shock out. Alright, now we'll install the shock. Once again, we have to squeeze down. Okay, I put a little drop of oil on the bolts. Now I just have to line them up. Okay, that one will start. And the second one, the inner one started. So let's tighten that up. Okay, that's one tighten. Now, we can't get here, so what we have to do, once again, we have to take this shock and put it through that hole. So by pulling down, nice and easy, we can get it over there, let it go, and it'll go right up where it's supposed to go. Now let's tighten it from the top. Okay, now that the shock stem is all the way through, we have the rubber, the middle washer, and just to have it, sometimes it goes a little easier. Okay, so what's happening now is the shock is starting to rotate. So I just hold it with a screwdriver as I tighten it. Okay, when it gets all the way tight, that's it. This is number 17, just regular screwdriver. And there you go. So the top is done. Now we just put the wheel on and we're done. Put this up on top. Now I just put a little oil, bolts, just to make it a little easier. Now let me just lift the jack up a touch. Pull the jack stand out. So, star. And there we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That takes care of the front shocks. Like I say, a lot of these are almost identical. They all come on and off the same way. Different size bolts, little different place, but that's it.